Welcome to Universe Eternal Omniscient Mind Church, February 14, 2025. Reliably referring to regenerating patterning integrities. At home in the eternal omniscient mind's universe, my synergetic mind's consciously evolving metaphysical intellect, as a function of its omnidirectional, omnirational coordinate systems, can reliably refer to its regenerating patterning integrities, primarily because the patterns topologically consist of a number of lines, areas, and crossings, which identifies the minimum structural system 6 vectors, 4 triangular openings, and 4 vertexes. It is the tetrahedron, one of the prime systems of Metaphysical-Physical Universe. The tetrahedron is a conceptual model of one quantum of energy. It consists of 24 quanta modules. It is rudimentary. To learning more about the isotropic vector matrix and Buckminster-Fuller's discovery of the most comprehensively incisive and swiftest computer, such a discovery, one could think, has already been in use, with widely popularized data mining, data storing, and eventual artificial intelligence innovations that most recently have infiltrated the computer industry's communication innovations. So the tendency is to count on algorithmic codes, expecting data storing computers of increasingly costly energy requirements that obviously are in the process of changing the world in just about every way, shape, and form. The ingenuity can't be the same as the most comprehensive, least possible investment of human initiative and cosmic regeneration. Informed experiences of AI and what is expected from those technologies in the future illogically derive from a different resource. Humans who are not educated by algorithmic code, similarly to not learning of the number pi and the cube, as supposedly essential building blocks for realities, conceived thus, referentially to those devices. Most likely, we do not think about complex interactions. Instead, we tend to trust the experts, accrediting them, discrediting self's innate imagination, which is designed by Yom, Universe Eternal Omniscient Mind, to formulate conceptually. Formulating conceptually requires conceptual models that metaphysical intellect can conceptualize independent of size, time-space sizing. Whether of minuscule or largest magnitude, the conceptuality of a system is independent of its size as a consciously evolving, synergetic metaphysical function that requires the human cerebral circuitry design and its inherent mind, the developing mentality we are endowed with at birth. It is good to know that pi is irrelevant in synergetics because the sphere is not experimentally demonstrable, and the tetrahedron is the minimum sphere. Pi drops out because chords are more economical than arcs. Buckminster Fuller, May 31st, 1971. Now, though, with Buckminster Fuller synergetics as Church Yome's referential resource for our individual consciously coordinated thought and language, let's explore UIVMOFCH, Universe, Isotropic Vector Matrix Operational Field Cosmic Hierarchy, comparing it to the PRJWMBCHM. Politics, religion, justice, war, money, belief, complex hierarchical matrix. These two acronyms are contextual parameters and comparative tools for simplicity during the thought process, mainly because thoughts are systemic of systems, and our consciously evolving faculties of thought identify thought with the tetrahedron's eternal pattern integrity throughout various phases, stages, and proclivities of our anticipatory generalized design science omnirational considerations. Let us recall the word consider is from Latin con plus sidus, joining stars together. We can do so while recalling that stars are vertexes, points, centers of closest packed unit radius spheres. Simply put, the PRJWMBCHM is millenniums old, and the UIVMOFCH is newer. So we don't have to back into our futures with a perpetual offensive-defensive eye on the detrimental burdens of the PRJWM factors, regardless which devices were invented during its vacillating history, some of which have taken our humanity on one costly sidetrack or another of relative insignificance or downright perpetual ruination. Can we associate AI more or less favorably with the PRJWM factors? Obviously, the UIVMOFCH induces different trains of thought, correlating to Buckminster Fuller's discovery of the invisible circuitry of nature and our metaphysical propensities. Besides, as RBF wrote, in quotes, humans oscillate between our metaphysical propensities and physical incarnations, end quote. This phenomenon must have something to do with moving in a curve and possibly spherical arrays and compound curvatures. Compound curvature starts with the tetrahedron, wrote RBF in his Synergetics Dictionary, August 1971. Logically, it could never have been UIVMOFCH that induced AI, because synergetic mind systemic thoughts refer to a totally different referential matrix. It multiplies concentrically, and its discrete vectors do not go to infinity, nor are they configured into algorithmic codes, to the best of my knowledge. Sum totally, the vector lengths always represent the total energy of physical universe, which is eternally regenerative. Therefore, the topological characteristics of the minimum structural systems vectors is the regenerative pattern integrity that synergetic mind conceptualizes metaphysically independent of size. Unlike the tetrahedron's 4-unit radius spheres, the isotropic vector matrix equilibrium omnidirectionally derives conceptually from 12 around 1-unit radius spheres. This means that the evolving synergetic mind's realizable potential of the isotropic vector matrix equilibrium coincides with rudimentary awareness of lowest cryogenic temperatures, taking heat out of the system, correlating to symmetry. When adding energy as heat into the system, its complex behavior becomes asymmetric. Before engineering this atomic computer, which our layman's awareness can barely imagine, some of us tend to apply the prospects of the positive and negative system outcomes to what humans do. The evidential behavior patterns can be described in similar terms, but those behaviors and terminology are not yet generalized, nor, as a rule, is the information content we disseminate referential to general systems thinking. In points of discernible observations, the word generalization and generalized in general is rarely science-based. So how in the universe can humans expect to adjust our individual a priori thought to a total reality of universal principles which derive from the generalized principles? The generalized principles clarify and underlie the conceptuality of nature's coordinate symmetry. So, too, does eventual awareness of RBF's ultimate atomic computer's isotropic vector equilibrium. For more on scientific generalizations, see Synergetics 427.07. Fortunately, since the isotropic vector equilibrium matrix derives concentrically from 12 around 1-unit radius spheres, at least this much is way more than the PRJWMBCHM inducements that are incentives for AI technologies to manifest. In the process, and by default slave mentality conditioning, it omits potential realization of UIVMOFCH, PRJWMBCHMAI inducements are different from the isotropic vector matrix equilibrium behavior that omnidirectionally surrounds a prime nucleus. Awareness of the isotropic vector matrix equilibrium behavior learns more about how it provides the electromagnetic and non-electromagnetic energy controls. The angular relationships are integral to rudimentary knowledge of closest packed spheres and the way atoms behave. Today's relevant links: Synergetics Table of Contents, Synergetics 426.46 through 0.47, Synergetics 427.07. Synergetics 427.10, Invisible Circuitry of Nature. Until next time, thank you from Christina, Universe Citizen, founder of Church Yom, Universe, Eternal, Omniscient Mind.